Tim's Thursday night's winner and fourth place starter here tonight. Randy, man, what a bunch of guys here. I mean, this is the best of the best.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough crowd.
Now, you're from Oklahoma and you race down around that area, representing them Sooners down there really well, man, coming up here. What are you kind of anticipating for tonight? I mean, first of all, let's talk about this 3-wide start.
Yeah, you know, we've done that. You know, of course, we come up here for the Jamboree, you know, and that's the way they start those mains. And we ran a big race at Batesville a few years back, and we started 3-wide. So, I mean, as a rule, everybody's, you know, on their toes, making sure they don't do anything stupid. I think the fact that we're starting second row in is probably a pretty safe spot. You know, being in the middle and sometimes on the outside is pretty risky, but I don't think it'll be an issue. I mean, it could further back, but I think we're obviously far enough forward that, you know, you would think we wouldn't have any issues.
I was gonna say, man, just about everybody in that first 5 rows are guys that know their way around a racetrack. So, like you say,
but that don't always mean anything. We can do some really stupid stuff sometimes.
Something else that I don't know if it's in the back of your mind or not, but boy, Wednesday night I hear was kind of a wet track. And of course, last night and tonight, it's going to be just the opposite. Boy, by race time, unless they get out there and really work the track, it could be dry.
Yeah, I mean, it'll seal up and slick off. I mean, it's not going to be. They're going to work it, and but it'll be good. I mean, these guys are the best I've ever seen at track prep. It's just incredible what they do here. Very impressive.
Okay, Randy, got our favorite color going there, that yellow for Cheeseworks Videos. Go out there and have some fun, man.
All right, we'll do it. Thanks.
Ryan Guston, Friday night winner. Guess you used your mulligan, if I remember right, from the night before. Was that a hard decision?
Oh, no, not really. We timed it terrible. First night we were supposed to qualify. That killed us. I think we timed it like 40th or something. Definitely not a hard decision to redo that. Got lucky, drew, I think, the 4th set quick time for the night, and started 11th and 1 last night, so I put us top point guys. We'll start on the pole for this deal and hopefully go out there and be able to win.
Yeah. All I can say is both nights, no matter how you finished the night before, man, some power moves up around the top. I mean, you were up there almost want to say hugging that wall and throwing dirt over. That was really fun to watch. Didn't make a lot of forward progress, but it was fun to watch. And then last night, man, that power move coming off of 4, I think on a restart, if I remember right.
Yeah, you know, guys were running 3 wide, kind of up the racetrack a little bit. I kind of dove in there underneath of them and skated up a little bit, you know, got a little bit of moisture there coming off, just enough to get the car rolling a little better, and they beat them down the next corner and took it the middle back away from them and just kind of rolled around there the rest of the race.
I was going to say, once you got out front, it was bye-bye. See you at the checkered flag, man. I mean, you just pulled away from them. Of course, they were racing position, if I remember right. There was 3 or 4 of them that were really racing. You were out there by yourself.
Yeah, once you get out there by yourself, it's some clean air. You get that clean air down on the nose. The car usually rotates a lot better. Definitely, I mean, it sucks the racetrack a little harder with clean air on the nose with spoiler and everything. And definitely was a good night for us last night. Cars on a rail, best it's ever been before. So hopefully it's as good tonight as it was last night. And I imagine we'll probably be in victory lane.
Any anticipations for tonight? Who knows what the track's going to be by then? 3 abreast. It's stuff playing in your head at all about that?
It's that 3 abreast start. It's a little nerve-wracking, you know. You gotta really make sure you give them guys on the outside a lot of room, which, you know, it's hard to do sometimes, especially, you know, on a big race like this. But you don't want to tear much stuff up on the first lap. There's gonna be a lot of give and take there for probably about the first 10 laps. People getting sorted out and everything. But go out there, have a good, clean race, and finish up front the money.
Okay, once again, the Grim Reaper, Ryan Guston, man, have some fun tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
Tommy Weeder outside that second row, going to be starting 6th. Is that going to be a good or a bad spot? What do you think as you look at it right now on this 3 abreast start?
I don't know that it'd be as good as the inside row, but it's definitely better than that middle row. Let's see what the racetrack brings. You know, if it's like it was last night and it's a little racy, it's not going to affect you too much, I don't think.
everybody is going to use a little common sense on this start, but it seems like that outside starting position, at what I've seen, where they race this track, everybody wants to drift up. So you might be at a little squeeze point there, but you got to go with it.
Yeah, hopefully guys that are starting up that close to the front, we'll use a little common sense, a little common courtesy, and know we got 50 laps to race. This thing ain't going to be won on the first lap, I can promise you. So hopefully nobody does anything too stupid. We all get through the first couple laps and get going.
You and Tim's representing Oklahoma really well, man. I mean, two of you guys up there in the first two rows. You got to be proud of that for you and Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always good to represent your home state good and all that. Tim's and I've raced together for a lot of years now, so hopefully one of us bring it home tonight. Hopefully the 02 car will be good enough to do it.
Big money on the line, big race, man. The best of the best. You got to feel proud being in the first two rows.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the cars here, this is as good a competition as you're going to get anywhere in the country racing modifieds, and it definitely is a big deal to be up front. And it's going to help, being up front 50 laps, get up there, conserve your tires a little bit, get going about the last half of the race. Hopefully we'll be there in contention to make a run at it.
Okay, man, all I like to say is go have some fun tonight.
I appreciate it.
Dan Bohr from Decorah, Iowa. Dan, second in the points for this week. Man, that's got to make you feel good.
Yes, it feels good to start on the front row.
I was going to say, any place up front in this thing's got to be good, especially three abreast. Man, 31 cars.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, period. It's going to be a good race.
What are you looking for tonight? I mean, you've been out for hot laps. I know we still got a ways to go, but what do you think is going to be there tonight for the track?
I think it's going to lock down. I think it's going to rubber down, and it's going to be hammer time.
Yeah. Kind of like what we saw last night, a lot of 3-4 abreast.
Yep, at first I think you're going to see that. Everybody shuffling for position, and I just hope I can get out front and stay there.
I hear you. Boy, what a bunch of drivers. I mean, just about from just every racing organization here in the United States, particularly in this area.
Yeah.
And like I say, once again, man, that's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, it's tough competition, but it's good competition.
Yeah. Tell me about what chassis and the motor you're running.
I got a Sputz engine from Mark, I can't hardly pronounce his last name, Spatatsky or something or other. But anyway, from Owatonna. He does my engines for me. And then I got a GRT by Phillips.
Well, man, you got to run against the guy tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to be a few rows back there, but you know him and Payne are going to be coming.
Oh, yeah, they'll be coming. They're good on this stuff.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, guy.
Thank you.
Have fun, man.
You betcha.
Colt Mather from Webster, Iowa. Colt, you're starting in that middle position there in the second row. Had a good run, was it Thursday? Wednesday night, finished second. What do you think about this three abreast being there in that second row? Any problems?
Oh, as long as everybody kind of, keeps their mindset that we got 50 laps of racing to do, we'll be fine. I don't mind it. Just as long as, like I said, everybody kind of calms down and, understand that we have a long ways to go here. So I'm just glad to be up front, I guess. There's a lot of guys coming through D's and C's and B's, and I'm glad to be in the show, and hopefully we can do something with it.
Is the track going to be where you want it to be? You've been out for hot laps. So.
Yeah, we just got back in from hot laps. That really didn't tell us anything because they're going to go out and farm the track here right now. They're doing it, so they usually do a pretty good job here. I mean, it's going to be back to slick, guaranteed for our features. So we get it slicked off, and hopefully, it doesn't get too crummy and dusty, and gets cleaned off a little bit, and we can run the middle to bottom, and we'll be just fine.
Boy, if it's anything like last night, especially back in the pack a little bit, man, it's going to be 3 and 4 wide. That's some tight racing. That's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it is, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun when you can do that and then do it clean. This is some of the best racing in the country here at this place. They do a really good job with the track. The drivers here, we're all professionals, and I think if you want to watch a good race, tonight's going to be a good race to watch. 20 grand on the line. You're going to see some guys doing some pretty gnarly stuff. So.
I bet so. Once again, Colt Mather from Webster, Iowa. Colt, go out there and have a bunch of fun, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Brad Waits from right here in Rochester, Minnesota. Brad, you are starting
front row outside.
Front row outside, man. All I can say is the main that you ran, it looked like in the 2 nights I've been here so far, the only guy making that bottom side work. I guess racing here at Deer Creek, maybe you know something about that bottom side a little bit?
I've seen other guys use it. I've never really been that low before in my life here, so I don't know. There was kind of a freight train up on top, and you can't pass it or follow them, so I figured I'd better try something else.
Got to go where they aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brad, you elected not to go out for hot laps. Was that because you have raced here before and you've got a pretty good idea what track's going to do?
Not really. I've hot lapped in that past and had guys turn into me and wreck some stuff, and it's just something that I generally don't do.
Yeah, I was going to say a lot of money on the line tonight, so maybe it's best, like you say, let's just play it safe, keep the equipment in one piece for now, and use it later on.
I'm hoping, so time will tell.
What do you think when this A main rolls around? We still got the C and the B to go yet. Is the track going to start taking rubber, or what's going to happen?
I think it's going to get kind of crumbly for a while. Depends on whether they farm it first or not. They're farming it now, so I hope they leave it alone, let it clean off. It generally hasn't been taking rubber lately. It gets kind of cleaned off and it keeps pretty racy. Last night was good, so hopefully we're going to have something like that again. Yeah.
Well, okay, Brad Waits, Rochester, Minnesota. Brad, all I can say is I know probably all these local fans are pulling for you. There's a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah, a litlittle bit, so
yeah.
We'll be all right.
All right, have fun, man.
Thank you.
This evening, gonna take home 20 grand.
Here we go, look at this. Ooh-ah, baby. A-Main 4-day of the playground is now set. Only the Queensland know how to light up the sky, and, well, if the cattle are lowing, the sheep are awake. Yep. This will send the Farm Aid concert to a new level. Holy buckets. I've seen towns that ain't had this much in a 4th of July parade. And you got it at a racetrack. I think we should just keep lighting them up and start the race. That'd be awesome. Clear the smoke. We're ready.
Good racetrack. Take a little bit.
Come around. The inaugural event at Deer Creek Speedway for the World Championship is underway.
Ryan Gustin will lead us into turn number 1. Dan Bohr running mid-groove in the 66 machine, staying with him as they head down the back straightaway, headed towards turn 3.
Side by side, Dan Bohr, the 66 car, but for lap number 1, put it down to car 19 with Bohr in hot pursuit as the rest of this field comes around to put lap number 1 in the books, and they're still 3-4 wide off of turn 2.
Very impressive. Dan Bohr in the 66 machine is going to lead lap number 2 after working to the outside of Ryan Gustin's 19.
A dark horse here tonight, Dan Bohr, but again, 50 laps is the distance as he leads. You see Gustin in second, Brad Waite sits in third as he comes to line for lap 3.
Tommy Weeder Jr. in the 02 machine has made his way up to 4th. Those top 4 cars distancing themselves just a bit from the rest of the field.
Yes, as they try to break away, we've got one slowing on the front straightaway. Looks to be the 31 car, Corey Drips. As he pulls the infield, we stay green.
Green flag still on the track, and that 2-car battle for second continues. Brad Waite's running a mid-groove in the black 24 with a 19 of our pole sitter Ryan Gustin backsliding to 3rd now.
Could it be that Gustin has learned how to save a car? I don't know. It's possible. Usually that kid is on the mat and doesn't run for second. He wants to be up front, but right now could be positioning himself for the long run here this evening.
Tommy Weeder Jr. in the 02 machine has got Sullivan in the 14. Right behind him, Jack Sullivan trying to work his way into the top 4.
Sullivan again on the hammer here tonight as Gustin in third. Then you see Weeder, Sullivan, and then comes Randy Timms farther back out of Wheatland, Oklahoma. Right now in the number 6 position in the 5T.
Randy Timms, of course, was our Wednesday night feature winner. Just behind the yellow 5T of Randy Timms. Actually now working the outside of him is the 71 of Wednesday night's feature winner, Jason Cummins.
One of the early favorites, again, if you were here on Wednesday, was that 71 car. But again, here tonight, he has to work up through, and again, we are under caution for the first time here tonight. And Mark Dotson, they call him Fluffy, out of Cameron, Missouri, the Tri-Rivers Logging, will bring out our first caution here tonight.
Mark Dotson in the 85 machine, along with the 60 of Kurt Krauskopf, involved on a little tangle on the back straightaway. Krauskopf already headed towards the hauler.
Fluffy appears to have have a right rear tire.
They are ready to hammer back to it.
Mark Dodson back out onto the speedway. Green flag is out as the 66 of Bohr will lead us down the front straightaway and into one.
Back into turn one, we watch him cycle through. Waits on the outside of Gustin. Sia gotta keep pace. He is now to second, Gustin third, and Jack Sullivan now sits in fourth. Tommy Weeder shuffled back to fifth, and here comes Randy Tim in the 5T.
Randy Tim in that 5T machine, looking to the top in turn one, to the outside of Weeder. A little contact in turn number two between the 02 machine of Weeder and the 22 as they got together in two.
It was just about Houston and Tower we have liftoff because they were pulling them. I mean, they were up and ready and gone, but they hang on, and we stay green flag racing.
Sullivan in the 14 machine sitting fifth. Tim's in the 5T has worked his way up to fourth. Then we've got a nice 7-car battle just outside the top 5.
Sullivan now drifting back as the 5T that Getty's horsepower of Randy Timms hammer down. Weeder falling back into 6th, and here comes Boney in the 22 car. Dustin Boney hammer down, and he works his way forward, goes around with Phillips and Payne in tow.
Behind Boney in the 22, we've got some nice battles for position as we're 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. Cole Mather in the number 8 machine, actually backsliding relatively quickly. Tim Dodlinger in the 3D machine works around him to the outside as they come out of 4 and down the front stretch.
Brad Waite ready to push him right out of the pen. Hit a night in that 66 car. Dan Bohr hanging on. Waite's had the bumper buried right to the fuel cell as they came around the last lap.
Dan Bohr still your leader, but Brad Waite's testing the waters, finding out where he can make the move as Lon Giuseppe had closed right up onto his rear bumper. Now he's backed off by about a car length in that battle for the lead.
Back in
trouble in turn number 2. The 65 machine. Is that Meyer?
Yeah.
Tommy Meyer caught up in a mix on turn number 2. His car sits idle near the bottom of the banking. Some heavy damage to the right side of Keith Foss's number 95.
And the Team Gray Hair GRT chassis. Again, to Tommy Meyer, the Big Speed Bullet.
14.
Again, we'll see if he'll be able to continue on here tonight as we slow it once again here on lap 14.
Meyer had got sideways in turn number 2. Foss was trying to sneak underneath him and did one of those can opening jobs on the right side of his number 95 machine. The sheet metal just kind of dangling off the body mounts there.
Yeah,
Foss back up to speed though.
A lot of souvenir panels, I think, before this one's going to be done, Dan.
So an early race showing of the nose by Brad Waits there in the 24. He closed in on Dan Bohr. Knock, knock. Here I am. Just let him know that he's there.
Well, he let him. He showed him the nose, and then he showed him the bumper, and he let him feel that because he was there. I mean,
14 laps down in this 50-lap A-Main for the World Modified Dirt Track Championship. Here they come at you again, race fans on a 4. Green flag is in the air.
Boy, Dan Bohr, that car really picks up off the corner. And it is better because here comes Waits looking on the inside. Brad Waits out of Rochester. Time to move? No. Bohr said, get out of here. Go up the hill.
Dan Bohr took that racing line away from him. Bohr will retain this lead spot. Brad Waits in the 24 now being challenged by Gustin in the 19.
Yeah, I think we just found out what lap it's time to move on. And they're coming. But look at Weeder. Tommy Weeder Jr. out of Woodward, Oklahoma. Now looking for the number 3 spot with Gustin on his side.
Weeder's working a very low groove on both ends of the speedway. Gustin almost scraping the wall in turn number 2. Gustin actually back to 4th now. Weeder up to 3rd.
Yep, and he's going to slide it up the hill. And while they do that, look at this. Jack Sullivan. Hi, how are you? Oh boy.
The 75 of Terry Phillips now, ready to put a challenge on Gustin for 4th. Phillips is in 5th, trying to get into 4th. Back outside of the top 10, we've got him 3 wide, a couple of rows deep out of turn 2.
Randy Timms drifts back just a bit, the 5T car. Dustin Boney follows in his wheel tracks. And down into turn 2, they head down the back chute, and it continues to be Dan Bohr, your leader, Brad Waits. And then you see Weeder and Gustin, the top 4.
That battle for the lead is intensifying with each and every lap that they do get out. Brad Waits not afraid to lead on the rear bumper. Now they come down the back straightaway side by side. Bohr on the inside, Waits up top.
Brad Waits Waits upstairs, rim riding, and he is going to lead at Deer Creek Speedway.
Brad Waits, your new leader on lap 20. The 24 machine out front. Bohr will fall back in line and retain second spot as it's a two-car battle behind him for third and fourth.
Brad Waits, Dan Bohr, Ryan Gustin, Tommy Weeder. Then you find Terry Phillips in the 75. Top 5 as they hammer down here tonight, working towards a halfway mark. And Brad Waits says, patience, forget it. You got a car that'll run. I know my territory and I am pulling away.
That previous lap, Boney in the 22 machine was up against the wall in turn number 2 in this right rear corner. Now he's all the way down to the bottom this circuit through 1 and 2.
Ryan Gustin opens up 2 car lengths over Weeder, back and forth as Chad Lyle, the Lyle style, car number 96, pulls in.
Uses up to 13.
And B up to number 13 spot. But all done, and be careful cameramen down there in the infield. They are scooting through, and Brad Waits is making them look sick.
Hughes is 12, started
Number
30th.
12 of Hughes making his way through the field. Up to 12th now.
He'd better, because down the back straightaway, half a lap advantage. Yes, half a lap for those of you listening at home is Brad Waits over the 12th place car of Jason Hughes out of Watts, Oklahoma.
Brad Waits has really turned it up after sitting patiently behind the 66 of Dan Bohr. Waits has established a half a straightaway advantage over Bohr's 66, currently running second. Gustin still third. Weeder in the 02 fourth with a 75 of Phillips rounding out the top 5.
Randy Tim sits in 6th. Then you see Jason Cummins remains in 7th in car number 71.
Just outside the top 7, a 3-wide battle for position as Gold Mather in the 8 machine tries to work underneath the 20, and here comes Shane Hebert in the number 9 on the outside into turn 3.
Again, as we watch Jason Hughes continue his charge alongside Colt Mather and Conor Braid, as they said, mid-pack. And where are you going to go? Where are you going to hide? As they get ready to start picking up on lap traffic, Brad Waits very shortly. He can see him now, right ahead of him, that blue car number 85, Mark Dodson.
A side-by-side battle for 4th and 5th as Terry Phillips in the 75 tries to work to the inside of the 02. They've been duking it out for several laps. Caution is out now as Dodson's off the pace again.
The 85D, Mark Dodson out of Cameron, Missouri. It looks like he is going to take it to the trailer, so we will regroup this field again on lap 28, just past the halfway mark. 28 down and restarts behind the leader. Wouldn't that be awesome?
We're almost going to do it right now as Waits was setting a slow pace on that warm-up lap. Green is in the air now. Waits rockets down the front straightaway and into 1.
And look at Gustin. Time to go. Yeah, here he comes. The 19 car is moving now. Brad Waits upstairs. Here comes the Reaper. Ryan Gustin. Ain't no sense of saving it now. And they are hammered down. High side flying here at the creek. And Brad Waits again holds off the challenge.
Ryan Gustin dispensed with Bohr on that restart. Phillips did it on the next lap. Phillips in the 75 up to 3rd. Bohr in 4th. Weeder challenging him now on the inside with a 02.
Wow, what a feature here tonight for Brad Waits. Gustin in 2nd. Phillips now into 3rd. Dan Bohr fading into 4th now. Our leader again in car 66 for the first 20-some laps. Again, now back into 4th with Weeder, and here comes Payne in the 74.
On that first lap back to green, Gustin really had the momentum coming out of 2. Could have closed in on Waits and maybe challenged him for the lead. Then he backed out again. Now he's about 3-4 car lengths behind him, just biding his time, waiting for this race to develop.
It is developing again as we work a lap 32 here tonight. So 18 more circuits here tonight. Where are you going to go? Upstairs, downstairs, Gustin again, reloading, saving the tires. And Brad Waits just on cruise right now in that 24 car.
Jeremy Payne up to 4th in the 74 machine. Dan Bohr now being challenged on the inside by Tim Donlinger in the 3D. Weeder slipping back. Tim struggling as well. And here comes Hughes in the 12.
Jason Hughes got his momentum here tonight as he is upstairs and reeling in the 5T of Randy Tim. And speaking of reeling them in, here comes the Reaper, Ryan Gustin. Up the hill goes Waits, and Gustin is now there again.
I mentioned just a couple of laps ago there was about 3 car lengths separating those top 2. Hughes now comes right up alongside of Brad Waits as they race out of turn number 2.
Gustin trying to diamond that corner and pick up the big charge off of turn 2. That's where he's been making hay. We'll see as they head down to turn number 1 again. Looking at this field as the laps continue to click off, and that time Waits hits his mark and holds the advantage.
Hughes up to 8th now in the 12 machine. He kisses the wall in 2. Hughes gets into the concrete, loses a couple of positions.
Was up to 8th, now back to 10th and has to regroup.
Brad Waits saw that Gustin was there. He's amped it up again. It's back to 2 car lengths. Waits is running at the bottom in 3, sliding up in 4. Gustin is riding all the way around the top, around the track.
Brad Waits just letting that car roll up the hill just nice and easy, and we've got a smoker. We've got one going up, and oh boy, it's a 12 car. Jason Hughes out of Watts, Oklahoma. Keep an eye there, a lot of smoke. And maybe he did tire up, but I'm not thinking so as he falls back another position.
Doesn't look like it's going to be a Ford in the victory lane at the end of the night, as that smoke is definitely getting thicker. He's off the pace, hemorrhaging positions. Now he dives for the safety of the infield.
Jason Hughes' charge is done, and we stay green flag racing here tonight.
Tommy Meyer also called it tonight in the 65. Caution is out as Hughes is not quite able to make it off the speedway.
So Jason Hughes, again, one of our favorites, again here, or probably to win it. I mean, if you're putting money down, you would have thought, well, he's going to be there. Well, he started last in his field, worked his way up to 8th, went back to 10th, and I think we saw the reason that was going back there. Smoke billowing out of the back end.
We'll see if he's going to be able to throw down with Waits for the lead on this first lap under green after the restart, or if Waits is going to be able to hold him off, or maybe one of these other guys from outside of the top 2 are going to be able to mount a challenge over this final 10 laps. It's 20 grand to win, green flag back in the air, and we're underway.
And here we go, the teammates, Payne and Phillip, will they do anything here? Here we go. Terry Phillips looks inside of Gustin for second. No! Brad Waits goes right down, bottom feeder, and here they come off of turn 4. We stay green flag racing.
Terry Phillips is looking quick. That 75 is working as he wants it at the bottom of the banking at both ends of the speedway, but he cannot quite get past the 19 of Gustin.
Dan Boer remains in 4th. Again, Jeremy Payne now back into 5th, and Brad Waits just cruising out front in car 24.
Waits takes a mid-entry into 1, lets it drift in turn number 2. Gustin begins reeling him in down the back straightaway. Gustin in the 19 continuing to run as high as that car will go through the turns.
3 wide farther back as we watch Randy Tim continue to do battle with Zach Vanderbeek. They're side by side as they head down to turn 1 as your top 3 again gets single file as we work to lap 44.
Jeremy Payne in the 74 and Dan Boer almost locked bumpers coming out of turn number 4 on the last lap. A bit more distance between them this time down the front straightaway as Donlinger tries to work his way into the top 4 with a 3D.
Timmy Donlinger with a solid run here tonight, that 3D car. Again, a weekly competitor here at the Creek. And the laps continue to click off.
5 laps remaining in this one. The end is in sight. Gustin is going to try and rev it up and close in on the 24 of Waits and throw him a challenge if he can.
Look at Donlinger going after Dan Boer. 3 wide again as they come off of turn 4. Payne up there. Donlinger now takes another position. And Brad Waits opens up about a 4 car length advantage over Gustin in second, and Phillips who runs in third.
47 laps down as your leader Brad Waits crosses the start-finish line that time. Ryan Gustin is running out of laps. If he's got anything left, he's got to show it.
Well, he's going to be showing, you can bet he's on the wheel. He's putting it for all of it's worth now on the mat. He knows it's time to go. But is there anything left? Brad Waits, what a job he's doing here tonight.
48 laps down. Next time by, Brad Waits in that solid black number 24 is going to get the white flag. There it is, race fans. 1 more lap to go for Brad Waits.
No sponsors, no stickers. And look at it, just a number. We just well put the number on with duct tape. And he's gonna find $20,000. Again, here tonight, you can wrap it up now. Your winner of the inaugural event, Brad Waits. Guston will finish second. Terry Phillips third.
Payne comes across the line fourth. Donlinger will finish. Actually, Donlinger in the 3D machine finishes fifth.
What a run for Timmy D. Come again from the back of this field. And I started 21st and finishes fifth. Hard charge there. But Brad Waite started outside the front row and wow.
Don't go anywhere, race fans. They're going to run the top 5 down across the scales, and then we'll bring our $20,000 feature winner, Brad Waits, up onto the Hanson Tire Service, Bobcat of Rochester, Victory Lane. Todd Narvison already headed that direction to get a word from him.
What a job again by all drivers here tonight.
He just gets it done. Down in the Hanson Tire Service, Bobcat of Rochester, Victory Lane. Brad getting a big high five from Kelly Shryock as he wheeled up to the Victory Lane. Ladies and gentlemen, he's out of Rochester. We call him Mr. Wayne, Brad Waits. Who is that guy? Check it, Marcus. That can't be Brad Waits. He's pumping his hands. Again, congratulations from race officials. Wow. Very impressive performance from the 24. Brad, get her all this cool trophy here. Congratulations. Just got in this car last week. Wow, what a weekend for you guys. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Kind of dragged on it pretty hard. My buddy Jeff Dorman, my brother Jeff, Ken Mandy,